guys, welcome back. You are still in the segment called Talk the Ting with Kim on Funtastic Fridays, and you know we're here with you on News Talk 93 FM. So if it is that you're just joining, we're having a discussion with Miss Jhodi Bennett. Listen, if you miss all of the alphabet that on my list earlier, you have to go check the recording, because I cannot go through it. Y'all won't do this to me, right? But she's been sharing and educating us about social health with our kids and how physical health, affects. We're going to actually get more into the whole physical health thing, so I'm not mention that just yet. But basically ways that you can bond with your child and evaluate your child, have conversations, and from the answers that you get, you can have a better understanding of who your child is, who they interact with, what are some of their habits, what they enjoy, stuff like that. And I think this is something that we need to do more of. So it's things to consider before back to school. And I mean, I'm not really putting a timeline on it, but it'd be nice if y'all start that, because you may actually end up helping your child this upcoming semester. Why wait till when exam come now, you gotta stress them out. You study, you do this, you do that. We're a bunch of last minute people,
Yep.
We're a bunch of last minute people, right? So don't wait until exam time to be asking questions. Start ask questions now. Mm-hmm. You have the time during summer, they're home, spend time knowing your kids. No fun out here, don't know the kids. No fun out here.
Would never do that.
Exactly. And then when trouble come, no man, pick none of that. No fun, don't know on the kids.
I never listen to these music you're talking about.
And then you're picking a DJ every week. Out of school, I beat this, and I beat cartel lyrics, and then you at home. Oh, never. That's not my child, right?
I bought an iPhone for my child,
right? And them have the phone, right? So I really just hope that this, prompts everybody, all parents, or even if it is that you're not a parent, but you interact with kids around you. As Jhodi said, it takes a village. It's not about just the parents. Sometimes as a neighbor, sometimes as somebody at school, can't exactly. You just work at a school and you build a relationship. Can be somebody at church. You observe these kids, and sometimes I know this is touchy though, because in today's society, nobody talks to them picnic. But we need to actually readjust that, because it was working. I don't know when we got this sensitive and this is my child and you better not talk to my child. No, once upon a time we did know, say if we do nothing anywhere on the road, it'll reach back away. Yeah,
you get too beaten.
And you get too beaten, because out the road them are gonna fix you. And then when they reach home, you probably never get no question. Oh, my ear said this. All right, and next fixing, right? Exactly, because them get everything. We can't come and tell my version because the truth was already shared. So we need to get back to that, because I think everybody's, you can't talk to my kids, and then that's creating a problem.
I'm trying to fight a teacher at that.
What might try? Been fighting teachers. I've been seeing these videos.
Tell me when Mr. So we can go. We bring the child, so we can go. They go fight.
Exactly, right?
Yeah,
so
you're fighting the wrong person. You need to fight yourself.
Exactly.
Because if your child is coming to you and complaining about a particular teacher, are you telling me that you cannot come in like a decent person and speak with the principal, find out what is up?
Because chances are there's something that's causing whether it's
or some part of the story you might
that you might not know. Exactly. So that's why we say communication.
Yes,
listen, when by know they're the original storytellers. Yes, right? Because as kids we like to outdo each other. So me tell a story and then you outdo my story, and then me feel like no, she not outdo me. Make one more extravagant story. That's how kids are. So I don't know why we're thinking otherwise, right? But I know as well that in our discussion earlier, you had also told me a bit about sleep hygiene.
Oh, you like
right? I like the fancy, being clean in your sleep. Right? But we're gonna understand more about that shortly. But I love when she gave me the term. She said, it's called sleep hygiene. And going forward, guys, I'm working on my sleep hygiene.
Yes.
Right? So I want to know really what is sleep hygiene?
Yes, please.
And its importance. And does this... Should you say, everybody should work on this? Or this is just mainly kids?
No. This is a everybody thing. Definitely. So basically, when I heard the term for sleep hygiene, I remember I was in a class and teacher was, her name is Kirby, was teaching, and she was like, we have to work on our sleep hygiene. And I was like, sleep hygiene? I bed every time before I go to bed. What are you talking about? So my sleep hygiene ton up. Yes. So I remember, sitting there, and she's like, it has nothing to do with whether you have bathed, if you use Dove, Ivory, it has nothing, Irish Spring, it have nothing to do with that. Cake soap, it don't matter. So basically the term sleep hygiene has to do with how well or conducive you put yourself into a position before you go to your bed that you can get rest, proper rest. And it's basically, okay, so I wrote it down here for you, Kimmie. Habits and practices that are conducive to sleeping well on a regular basis. So it's a routine that you put in place. So for example, 1 hour before you go to bed, there should be no cell phones.
I wonder when I hear this before.
Yes,
I feel like I did something like this. I feel like I did something like this once upon a time, telling y'all to like turn off those screens before you go to sleep.
Right.
Yes.
Work on it,
Although I've not been doing it, but I did tell y'all.
We're working on it. We're working on it.
So yes.
So the light from the screen of the phone emits, when the light is emitted, our body naturally thinks that it's daylight. So what happens is that our body produces, so this is how it normally works. You produce melatonin, which allows your body to go into a state of sleep or rest. That's in the night. In the morning, our body produces cortisol, which is what wakes us up. So we call that the stress hormone that allows you to deal with the daily activities and stress of the day. But if you are on your phone, tablet, TV, sound system are going, everything, what happens, our body produces lower levels of melatonin. Therefore, your body doesn't go into a state of sleep as it should.
Oh, that's why we
Body
struggle
said
to
we're not
fall
ready yet.
asleep
That's
as
why
well.
Exactly.
Okay, so the body is saying, we're not
ready yet.
It's day.
Definitely
It's
not.
day,
It's
and we still
daytime.
operate as day.
Exactly. So that's why when you have, like, for instance, persons who do long hours of studying and they know that they have exams coming up in a master's and PhD level, a lot of them, you'll see them have their specific light called daylight light. And they'll have it on their desk, like at maybe 5 o'clock in the morning.
Okay.
And so they're not waiting until the sunlight come up.
Yeah.
They have that specific light, and that is what your
them
body
to sleep.
triggers and say, time to get up, time to get. So that is very important. No phone before 1 hour at least before bed. But what happened? My Bible app on my phone. Hey. I've gotten that response before. My Bible.
That's what I use before I go to sleep. So I use my Bible app.
Exactly. But I think what they're doing now, the Bible app now comes in a dark setting. So that doesn't emit, or you can use a Kindle or whatever you need. That has a dark
And
setting.
your phone should also have a night mode and a reading mode as well.
Yeah.
So use up these features. We're buying these phones for so much money.
Yes.
Them
Check out
smart
the features and use them.
We just not much
you
Sit
smartness.
down there with the brightness on 100. Huh?
Right?
Yeah.
The phone is only as smart as the owner that has
No,
it.
don't
We're
tell
not
me
telling
that,
them that.
guys.
No, because I don't use them features. I have
Half
this
of
big
the
bright
features
light.
on my phone, I don't know nothing about.
Wow.
I can send messages and receive messages and make calls and receive calls.
All right.
Yeah.
Yes.
But check out the features.
Yes.
Use them up. Yeah.
So with kids, they tend to, this is another thing. Sleep hygiene. What do you do? Give them a warm bath before bed, or if they can, some of them are old enough to be themselves. So you have maybe a nice warm bath. Run them a warm bath because that soothes the muscles and relaxes them. Then you
So
can.
what if you don't have the warm bath?
Listen.
So we're trying to factor in everybody,
You have kettle, right?
Yeah.
Oh, so you mean
Yeah,
boil the
wood
water
fire.
and so
Yeah, man.
must I check.
Because
Warm
I'm
to
saying,
wood fire.
I'm saying with this kind of heat we have in the summer,
No, warm bath, nothing
everything
in the
in warm
evening.
bath.
That's true.
By the time you step out the shower, you're still warm.
Sir, when you turn on your water, the water is warm, and I don't have a heater.
That's true.
And I don't have a heater.
So
That's
a
true.
nice warm bath.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just you can do a nice warm bath. And for those, you have like persons who I've noticed this helps with the kids. A little bit of peppermint oil, maybe on the pillow, or so when they
the
inhale
scent.
the scent of the
scent.
peppermint relaxes them and soothe them. A little cup of peppermint tea. Peppermint tea is also a muscle relaxant, putting them in a relaxed state. No, I'll give you a joke. My parents give me peppermint tea every morning before I go to school, and I wonder why it is that I'm sleeping through the people in class.
Okay.
But it was only afterwards somebody said, peppermint is not for morning.
Oh, it's not? Okay.
It's not unless no.
I feel tricked. I've been doing this for a
I tell
very
you,
long
Jhodi has a
time.
vendetta against the people of Jamaica.
Jhodi just come out here drink for
Shall
people.
mash up everybody life.
Peppermint tea for drink a morning, as far as I know.
Just buy one box of peppermint.
Yeah, man,
Drink
for
a
the
morning
night.
time.
No wonder me I fight the morning then.
Yeah, man. I used to drink that peppermint tea and go to school every
And
day.
it gives me
struggle.
that
You
nice
struggle.
smell in the morning, And I'm like, yeah,
I love the smell.
And because the
Wow.
peppermint smell, you feel get activated, but it's not really activated.
it's activating something you need. Some sleep.
The worst thing I ever do is drink peppermint. This is when I found out.
Yeah.
You see, I leave Jamaica and find this out. I sit down and I get a nice cup of peppermint tea before my exam. Lord have mercy.
Drift your drift.
Set up.
Before TJ songs start playing.
Okay, well, I never knew that. That's actually...
And it sounds simple.
Yeah.
It sounds simple.
Just tea,
If somebody come to me and say, girl, what you do? Go and go get a coffee before you get yourself in trouble. And I said, what do you mean?
Yeah.
And they said, look it up. And I looked up the benefits of peppermint tea, and the list is enormous. However, one of the things is to make it rest well at night and make you relax.
So put on the tea box for the night time, sir. Buy next tea box for morning.
We can't drink tea in them. Anyway, let's continue.
But it's a green tea,
Yes.
any other tea, rosemary tea, them tea, they're good, anything.
For the morning.
Bush tea, good. I mean,
Some lime leaf tea.
yeah. Something for wake you up.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, man.
Okay, so you say a warm bath, a nice warm bath, a little peppermint oil probably from the pillow, probably the tea in the night, because you know a lot of Jamaicans are tea drinkers, so we don't mind drink the tea before we go sleep, right? And turning off the screens, all these lights before an hour before you and your children, so it's not just the children, both you as the adults as well, before you go to bed. These are some practices you can put into place, and as I've said before in the past, we don't expect y'all to make changes overnight.
No.
You know, all of a sudden tomorrow in a brand new. No. Start with one thing. So if it's a case where you're like, all right, the peppermint tea I'm having in the cupboard, make a start drink it at night and get something else for the morning. That's one change, and that one change leads to other things, right? So just work it in stages, all right?
Yeah.
Anything else you think you're
Very important. This sleep routine needs to be put in place at least 2 weeks before they start back school.
Oh.
Yeah, at least 2 weeks, so that when you get to that day of school starting, it's already set in place. You're not struggling the night before school. No, we're not fighting nobody. Nobody. And not only that, when they're fresh and they go to school, they adapt easier. Have you ever noticed that when you go to school, for instance, you go to school your first day, you burn all of the night.
Yeah, you
and
stay
then
up late, all of that.
Stay up late. First day of school, you come back, you feel drained.
Yeah.
Groggy.
Yeah, you feel groggy, you don't know, you never learn. Not that you're learning anything
but
normally, but you're just out of it.
Yeah.
So you want to get these kids set up and ready 2 weeks before, and then by then they would even wake up. Sometimes some kids will wake up even without an alarm, right on time for school, and you have to beat the bedpost for them get up.
Jeez. Bedpost.
That's all bring back memories. Tired. Just wake up the picnic, not me, right? No, but I love that because Jamaicans, especially, also parents overall, but let's start down to Jamaicans. We have this habit of waiting until the night before.
Right, but Jhodi, we're going to need some incentives here, because right now, to tell a child in the big, hot, nice, wonderful, fun, freedom
I said
summer,
August 11th.
that they're going to start waking up at 6 o'clock so they can be ready for school in that, night.
Yeah, but who is in charge? You are the child.
Yeah, well, like that. Who is in charge? What do you mean? You want to tell a picnic? But that's the right thing.
But you can do it gradually.
Find ways.
Yes. So another way you could do it is a gradual step method.
Yeah.
So what you can do is, if it is that, and okay, this is important. First thing you try to do when you set a sleep routine for a child is, how old is a child? Toddler. Okay, generally a child requires what? Toddler, maybe 10 hours of sleep. Then you have an older child, is it what? 9 hours or 7 to 9 hours. So based on the age of the child, then you need to see, okay, what time do they have to go to bed in order to wake up in time? The right time. And we mean to wake up the right time. Not 15 minutes before you drive, pin you have socks up, put on foot out a window.
People, we did not call her here to do you guys like this.
Listen, but she's doing you guys like this.
Learn and see how best we can make it.
I want out of love. It's done out of love.
It's definitely done out of love, because my parents used to be driving and my foot was out the window putting on socks, and my cousin on the other side sometimes. So, but this is the thing. As I got older, it now became hard to set a disciplined sleep routine. But the kids that I know that had this routine, is only when I'm older now that I'm realizing a lot of them did not struggle during university, during college, during work life. They have it set already. Majority of them, I can identify those, and they've been successful. Whether it is because, think about it, if you have a good sleep routine and wake up early before anybody else wake up, you can start right. I feel like I wanted to do this. Work on different DIYs. You work on different ideas. You know, say this, that, and they start to work on different skills in the morning. They're more refreshed throughout the day. A lot of them end up opening businesses, even though they have their professions.
Yeah.
People who don't even have a profession started opening businesses because the ideas tend to come fresh. When you are now no sleep routine, you go to work,
8:30 wake up,
8:30 get up,
9 o'clock.
exactly, you're groggy, you sit down at the people and work and you're tired, you don't have no time to be creative,
motivated
or inspired, as you said. So when you now have that kind of routine, it continues and you're continuing to be groggy, and 30 years later you're still in the same job,
it's probably even going downwards,
and they just complain about everything.
Wow.
So this is not just for kids but for everybody else. A good sleep hygiene is very good. And also memory consolidation.
Stop jerk me up.
Memory
consolidation.
Oh yes, definitely. So some of the people them you'll hear people say, oh, my child no have no head or whatever. Sometimes it's just a good sleep schedule that they need, because there are 4 stages of sleep that we've studied. I don't need to go into a whole lot of that. All you need to know, there are 4 stages, and if you don't sleep correctly through the night, you don't get those continuous stages each cycle. So what happens is that in 2 of the cycles, you have a long-term memory consolidation of things that you've learned. Now, the kid is not getting enough rest, then how you will consolidate without it being done?
So basically, those long-term memory are not locked in.
Yes, it's not sticking.
So it's like I'm going to learn that again tomorrow again.
Yes.
Wow.
So those who sleep the correct amount of time, and still of course you have to review
cycle.
Yes, they tend to be more very correct. And then also kids who don't get enough sleep are highly susceptible to depression and suicidal ideation.
I was saying sleep is a concept.
Hey,
most people like say I sleep and I'm dead, you know. We never stop it.
Okay, so guys, get our sleep pattern together. Let's improve our sleep hygiene. Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
But one of the things you mentioned, right, saying, well, you know, get this into basically being a habit for your children. Another thing I'd love for you to touch on is physical health, because this one is dear to my heart. I think if a lot of us, these things were instilled in us as kids, we'd be much better at it as adults. But now we have a whole bunch of adults out here trying to figure out this fitness
a whole
thing.
bunch of adults who never had it when they were a
who
child.
never had it, and now we're like, let's try to make this a habit. I want to become a fit person, but then every time they stop. And now I'm understanding it leads from not having that as a
discipline.
child.
Yes,
and
everything.
the discipline and all of that we didn't have as kids.
Yes.
So I'd love that you talk about that, you know, instilling physical health in our kids.
So, okay, for instance, my mom would on and off. We need to exercise on and off. And then eventually, what I realized as an adult, I was on and off too.
Yeah.
Welcome to the club.
So on and off was my style. Yeah, man, put on the weight, take off. Put on the weight, take off. 5 plus, 5 minus, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So what I realize now as an adult, I'm realizing it just means, you know what that means? No discipline.
Okay.
So myself, I had to realize that it meant no discipline. It has nothing to do with it, because everybody have the same 24 hours in a day. 24 hours, you know.
Yeah.
You know, we need to work with a calculator. How many minutes are in 1 hour? 60. 60 times 24. Then we have 7 days per week. Are you telling me, say, I can't find 15 minutes to exercise?
No, hold on. No, me, I could drift up some people. You see, the same smartphone always say, it can also show you your social media time and all them something there. So you see, the same people like to say, oh, I don't have time. I cannot exercise because I don't have the time. Please, not to be going to say weekly, check your daily social media or phone usage time.
Yes.
And you will see how much time. No worry, it catch me too. So I'm going to learn from it. So I'm going to educate. So the same time that we don't have, check on the Netflix time, because Netflix all ask, are you still watching? I want to click yes.
I'm now fight the one that finish
Come
watching
here, drip up people, me drip up myself too.
Yes.
But Netflix, all of us ask you, are you still watching because you're here doing this? So we have time for all these things, but we don't have time for our own
the
physical
serial
health.
Watching of episodes is another thing.
That's the whole
as a whole other thing.
thing.
Yes. So I have free access to Netflix, and I have not activated it because
That's
I know
fine.
myself.
If you want, I can test it out. We'll talk after
But no, she's concerned about your physical health.
Yes.
That's true. All right.
Can you imagine? Yes. So I don't activate it. I have not done. I downloaded TikTok and I delete it. I never even sign up.
Yeah.
And I downloaded it again and I deleted it. So that's the thing.
You try to avoid the things
I
that
try
you
to
know will put
avoid,
in.
you know, I got waste your time. I'm not saying that you can't watch a TV
you
show.
can
and
enjoy it.
You
episode.
can use it, but you have
Yes.
to know how it affects you.
You have to know how to do that. But the long and short of the story is we have to, and I'm glad you brought up that point. What I did with the kids that I was assessing, everybody had to turn on their time limit. As in, it tells you on your phone. Every parent, the kid's not gonna like me, but here what? Every phone come with this time thing,
Yeah.
and you can check the time at which they spend on each app.
Yeah.
So it have a little section that says social. So whether the TikTok, the Instagram, the Facebook, the da 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 da
can give
da,
them an hour,
you can give them
limit the
yes,
time.
and then you can limit per app. So the limitation on my app is 15 minutes. And 15 minutes are enough, you know. But I still limit it to 15 minutes for all social apps. So if 15 minutes for Instagram, 15 for Facebook. And once that happens, it shuts down the app. So if whatever I need to do, if I'm in a serious mode, whatever I need to do,
I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna figure it out.
you will figure it out.
Afterwards. You're gonna do a tutorial
I'm gonna do
afterwards,
it
but-
later. I
Yeah.
need to stop this. Yeah.
Yes, definitely.
So you
But
can manage yourself
you
as well as your kids.
Yes, because if you can't manage yourself, how are you going to manage your kids? The
There
kids
you
watching
go.
you. The kids are watching you and they emulate you. With regards to the physical activity, as you know, it helps to maintain health. There's so many benefits to exercising. It also helps to lower blood pressure. These kids are now having all kind of diseases that they never had.
At a very young age.
At a very young age, and some of these things are what you call lifestyle diseases. If they just get active,
They can help to.
it can help to
reduce the risk.
alleviate, reduce risk, and all of that. So a little bit of fresh air is good. It helps to build self-esteem. I always tell persons, try to get your kids in sports. No matter if they have 2 left foot and them the
Right,
slowest
get them
one,
active. Look
get
at
them
movement.
active. And also, if they're the slowest, so what? That now teaches them how to deal with failure.
And then also they'll only be the slowest for a period of time.
Yes.
At some time they might pass somebody. Come on.
Yes.
Okay.
I love that. And I think that we've uncovered so much. Listen, guys, every single time we have these segments, I'm like, where does the time go? Can we basically run out of time?
Yes.
But I just have to say, I hope that you guys learned all the gems that was dropped, pick them all up. But if you didn't, right? If you did not, yeah, we had more. Hold on, I think you need to drop that.
I'm going to drop this gem.
Yes.
So the last thing I'm going to say is, as Jamaican parents, we love to do word curses.
Yeah.
You're ugly like your papa.
Wow.
My God.
Ouch.
There's
You're good for nothing and you're workless.
yes, you're not a sense.
And
You
you're
know,
not turn out to nothing.
tough.
and you know, yeah, it's tough. Like, and you know don't know the maths, you know,
Right.
and you are telling people, say, I get it.
I was actually gonna
Yes.
say that you yourself not disciplined, but you're expecting this of your child.
Exactly.
Hypocritical.
Yes.
And then you're using your indiscipline because you used to hear these things called at you.
Yeah.
Yes.
You're just basically passing the baton on, which you know wasn't a good thing to do.
Yes.
So-
that is what my solution to that is: speak life over your kids.
Positive.
Yes, the teacher can tell you, say, you're dunce and you're pitting agaton, whatever. I can tell you that I have seen classmates of mine pass and supersede different
Turn things around.
things. Yes, so you now have to speak life over, and if you don't know how to do it, start with yourself.
Yeah.
A lot of us speak so badly to ourselves, and that's why we're not achieving what we're supposed to be achieving. So start with yourself. Stand up in front of the mirror. Yes, I'm talking to you, you're seeing me. Okay, talk to yourself and say, look here, you might look dunce, but you're not dunce. Start speaking that over yourself, and then speaking it over your kids, and you will see how it will build their self-esteem, and they will be a different child.
Well, guys,
There
I
you
think
have
that's
it,
the
people.
best message to end the
Thanks
show.
very much, Jhodi Bennett, Dr. Jhodi Bennett with us today. Kim.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, happy belated birthday to Mommy.
Fantastic
Yourself.
weekend.
Have a good weekend, guys.
News Talk 93 FM. Heard everywhere.